Well, as far as going forward with this, I know you don't run into any challenges or setbacks at all, but well, what are a few challenges? Ideally, but what's one or two of the challenges you have run into, and how have you dealt with those?
So, at Phoresa, as I said, we're solving problems every day. As a startup, that's something that Mark and I, and the entire Phoresa team, encounters daily. The problems that we encounter is everything from coming out with a good name for the company, right? It was a little bit of a challenge. We struggled with that for a little bit. We wrestled about the right name, to being able to develop the test that is sensitive enough to make it to meet these expectations that doctors actually want. So those are some of the challenges that we encounter. I don't know, Mark, if you have something else that is bringing in your
money. Obviously, every startup company has money issues.
I agree.
Going out and finding people that can help you. So there's a lot of things we don't know. This is the first time we've done a startup company, so just finding mentors that can really help you and push you in the right direction. I think that's been just knowing what to do a lot of days. Like we came straight out of graduate school. We had no business backgrounds, and just like very, very simple things like how do you file a trademark, for instance, with our name. Like we don't even know how to do things like that. So just learning what to do along the path, and each challenge you encounter, figure out how to get around it.
But with 2 PhDs, I'm sure this...
we actually, interesting, Aaron, the group is not only formed by us. The Phoresa team, the leadership team, is formed by Jonathan Posner, who is a professor at the Mechanical Engineering Department and Chemical Engineering here at the University of Washington. We got Matthew Thompson, who is the current chair of the UW Family Medicine, #1 school in the nation. Mark, who is a PhD in chemical engineering, myself, who is also a PhD in chemical engineering. So you probably think that a group of scientists and medical doctors can solve every problem. Let me tell you, that's not true, right? We always need to reach out to people who have this experience in the medical diagnostic industry, right? These people who have done it in the past. And surprisingly to us and the entire team at Phoresa, every time that we go and reach out to them, they're willing to meet with us.
That's wonderful.
The community in Seattle is fantastic. The community in the United States, the entrepreneurship community, there's people who have done it and have made it. They're willing to spend 20 to an hour with us and talking to us and teaching us and telling us the mistakes that they made along the way. So Mark, myself, and the entire Phoresa team do not make in our path. It's something that I want to leave from this interview with you, Aaron, is that for the companies that are starting, for these startups that they're looking for to make it into the market, talk to people. Talk to people who have made it. Talk to your potential customers, because we didn't know that Phoresa test might potentially look like this. We thought that the test was going to look like this.
The Steve Jobs iMac version.
There we go. So when we went to talk to doctors, they saw this flashy...
It's not going to work for us either.
This flashy looking oval shaped device. And they said, hey, Charlie and Mark and the entire team of Phoresa, it's really pretty though. But we won't buy it because it slips out of my hand. It's too colorly. Then the patients actually get distracted. So we want something that is more medical, more flat, more simple, and less colors, right?
Something clinical looking, and I can totally see that.
Yeah.
So obviously you have a lot of top-notch researchers and academics. If you could add one person to your team, either a marketing expert or any sort of a domain expert, what's the person you would add?
So that's a really good point, and this is something that Mark and I and we always struggle, is having that person who have done in the past, who have taken a company from the startup environment and make it an enterprise, make it the next leader.
Someone who can execute on a plan.
We do have assembled an excellent advisory team that actually has done that in the past, and is making the entire Phoresa team stronger, because the aspects that we lack on, we recognize from the early stages. We said, hey, we don't have the business experience. We are good scientists. We need that. So what we did is went to look for them. We went out and started asking people, have you done it in the past? How many startups have you done? And we have assembled this team that is the foundation.
So you have an awesome team, it sounds like, of advisors, mentors, people have already gotten their hands dirty.
Oh yeah.
And really, are helping you take this from idea to market.
And I think the most important thing with finding and leveraging those people and getting their advice is admitting that we don't know a lot of anything. There's so many things that we don't know. So you need to be very coachable and just learn from people who have done it. And we always hear, a lot of times you'll hear people will say 3 different things and you don't know which one's correct. But if you take enough people's advice and kind of put them all, take the average or take the median of everyone's advice, you can usually get pretty close to the right answer.
The scientists answer, well, we took a sample set of advisors and we took the median.
But
and
it's true.
And
you get a lot of different advice. So.
And being able to listen to people. A couple of things that our advisors and mentors are telling us is that a lot of startups, they think that they're doing the right thing and they're not willing to listen. We at Phoresa, we're willing to learn. We're willing to make this a reality, and we do not want to repeat the mistakes that people have done in the past. That's the reason why we went and reached out to them.
The biggest reason startups fail is because they usually build something that people don't actually want. They don't go out and talk to people. They don't pivot when they need to, and they just think they know the right answer when a lot of times
so it
no one's
sounds like
validated
you've been
that.
doing a lot of talking to doctors, talking to the end users of your product. And purchasers about what you're going for. So aside from the sheath or the industrial design of the case, what other aspects have the end users impacted?
The first one is you asked earlier, why do we choose certain diseases to initially go after? And I'd say that's one of the biggest reasons. Is
the market.
You talk to people and they're like, this is what we want. You have to ask them, what is the biggest issue that you have every day? What do you hate? What do you wish you could fix in your day to day? And you start to get those answers, and those are the things that you want to try to solve for. So we can't solve all their problems. We can't fix the reimbursement rates and things like that, but
we can make the test affordable.
Yeah, we can make it cheaper to help with that.
Right.
If you have a test that can detect any disease, what disease do you want? So you need to ask those kinds of questions initially before to kind of tease out what you're actually looking for.
Another thing that when you talk to customers is really ask the right questions, right? Trying to understand and pinpoint.
Customers have the perfect idea of exactly what they want, right?
Well, surprisingly not. Surprisingly, is not the case. Customers want a lot of things, and at Phoresa we believe that we have identified the MVP product, this valuable product that can deliver what we're looking for, which is having a test that will detect with the right sensitivity, and doctors can actually use to treat patients.
Yeah, another aspects of the test are what costs are they willing to pay, how long are their patients willing to wait. So obviously you want the test within 2 minutes, but if we can only make it 10 or 15, is that fast enough?
Well, that's remarkably better than 48 hours or 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. But then the question is, are patients actually willing to wait a half hour? What if they go across the street to get their coffee and
they don't come back?
It gets cold and they don't want to wait a half hour? So it's kind of nailing down on the details of what's really important.
Really understanding the workflow of a clinic is really important.
Now it's a lot of also human behavior, and how can we use high tech to actually change something as messy and down to earth as human behavior, caring and sticking around.
It is a complex problem, and we're trying to solve that every day.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of great surveys and work in addition to our internal interviews where people ask these questions to customers. How long are you willing to wait? How much are you willing to pay for this test? So it's really doing your own work, but also kind of looking at the resources that are available.
And we have obtained a lot of great support by the community, everything from the University of Washington as a whole. They have been a great resource to us. Commotion, which is the tech transfer office here at the University of Washington. The Life Science Washington, which is a nonprofit here in the Seattle community, I guess in the entire Washington state. They have been a great support to us, providing us the group of mentors, friends, and colleagues that helping us to build this and make this a reality. The National Science Foundation gave us a small business innovation grant, SBIR, that is helping us to take the product from the lab stage to the next milestone, which is the clinical feasibility of the test, making sure that our tests actually meet these requirements that at the beginning of this conversation we stated. So Phoresa has not been a four-main show type of thing. It's a group of people that have and foreseeing the vision that we put around Phoresa. We want to solve the healthcare problem, and within the healthcare problem, detecting for infectious diseases so people can get treated.
That sounds awesome. Obviously, you spend a ton of time in the lab and doing research and pushing this forward, but
Charlie doesn't spend as much time anymore. he's doing very important other things. So.
Yeah, so my CTO does.
But I spent. I mean, he definitely helps a lot.
Okay, but when you're relaxing, I assume you do something to unwind, relax, maybe once in a while.
I mostly spend time with my wife and my dog. That's my favorite thing to do. I like to go play soccer, go down to the corner, grab a beer, go out to eat. Just pretty standard.
Charlie might have
professional things.
One
but
first at least.
I do have a couple of things in mind are popping out. I love hanging out time with my wife too. We recently got married, so although we've been together for a long time, we recently got married. So
congrats.
Thank you. We do not have a dog, although I love dogs like Mark. We foster dogs for the Seattle Humane Society. We help dogs to doing these rehab sections and making the dogs accessible and being able to be adopted. Something that I'm passionate about, helping dogs to become back to normal. While I love drinking beer with Mark and hanging out on the weekends, I also play rugby from time to time. That's what I do for fun, and which is not much time nowadays, making this a successful company. But the little time the little time that we have, that's what we do.
Cool. So and for both of you, I would like one fantasy or sci-fi character that you most enjoy, you most like.
I'm going to go with Iron Man, just because he makes a lot of cool inventions, and that's what we're inspiring to do. So.
Okay.
Well,
it comes to mind, but you go ahead.
So you can't do that one.
You probably have a better answer.
So I cannot have Iron Man. Thank you, Mark. So besides Iron Man, I really like Bruce Wayne, Batman, who is also a scientist in a way, an inventor. He also likes to
his gadgets.
His belt, being able to, depends on the filmmaker at the time who put the movie, but he's also able to help people in a way. So I think that by doing that, being able to come down from his Wayne Tower and help in the community, that's kind of like also resonates what Phoresa is doing.
Happy answer.
Thank you, Mark. We love you all here at Phoresa.
So if you're going to leave us with one thought that we should take away from this talk, what would you leave us with?
I would say try to put good people around you. Like as long as you surround yourself with good people and listen and try to work together, you can usually get a lot of good things done. Like you cannot do things on your own. Like if Charlie wasn't here, I wouldn't be able to do it. If I wasn't here, Charlie couldn't do it. If we didn't have everyone around us, we couldn't do it. So I think, surrounding yourself with really good people is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, I would say, Aaron, for the entire startup community, listen. I would say listen to what Mark says, listen to your colleagues, listen to your people, listen to the people that you're trying to help. Listen to the mentors, listen to your advisors, listen to your everybody that is willing to help. I think is something that I wanna leave the entire startup community, not only in the Seattle, but as well as the United States and the globe. Now you guys are watching through the internet. To being humble and willing to listen.
It's two things too, but
is that another one?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's only one, Mark.
I think it's really important to have like purpose in what you're doing and like really believing in what you're trying to work for. So we really want to try to do things that impact people, and I think as long as you are doing something that you're engaged in and interested in, then it's going to be much more enjoyable to do that kind of work. So
believe in what you do.
Yeah. Good summary.
Well, awesome. Thank you both very much for your time, and wish you all the best.
Thank you,
Aaron.
Hey guys, thanks a ton for watching Starting Ideas. If you enjoyed this interview with Phoresa co-founders Charlie and Mark, please hit the subscribe button, donate on Patreon, and comment down below. What questions would you like to ask Charlie and Mark about their research or their experience spinning up a company? We'd love to hear from you.